There's a camera picture. There we go, from nmroads.com. You can see the snow piled up on the side of the highway. It looks like there's at least a lane in each direction that is clear, but the one thing you do have to look out for this morning, as we keep talking about, is black ice. Now, the roads in New Mexico, as we're talking about, still could be pretty bad. This is all because of the winter weather we got yesterday. In Santa Fe, as a matter of fact, snow started falling before the sun came up. We told you this first, and it didn't stop for hours, causing this mess last night. The temperature, somewhere around 5 right now in the capital city. Several crews have been working through the night to try to clear I-25. And yesterday, as you know, there were several crashes. This one near La Bajada, where a van slid down an embankment into the median. One of our photographers caught this. Take a look. It's near Glorieta. That truck and trailer just fishtailing. Yeah, we caught the end of it there, out of control. Thankfully, no one there got hurt. It ended up being able to regain control. He was able to drive off, and everyone was okay.
And it wasn't just northern and eastern New Mexico. Roads in Roswell were icy and dicey too. Wrecks like this one littered the roads. It took people hours longer to drive between Hobbs and Roswell. And this morning, we are still seeing some school delays and closures around New Mexico. They are all scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So take a look at that when you can. You know, yesterday, the weather had Albuquerque Public Schools doing something a little different. Parents were alerted before lunch that they could come and pick up their kids anytime they wanted. So tons of parents showed up. Students say it was a little chaotic, but of course they were excited.
There was probably like 300 kids all trying to get to one person. And so it was pretty packed. People were cutting in line. I felt like I was at a concert or something. There were so many people.
Scenes like this, an accident involving what appears to be an empty school bus on I-40, factored into the district's decision to let students leave early with their parents' permission. Stay with KRQE News for continuing coverage on the winter weather, both on air and online at krqe.com. There you can find our severe weather page as well, and links with the road conditions all across New Mexico.
5:34, time for some other news this morning. High school dropouts who benefit the most by earning their GED, the General Education Development Exam, will soon have the toughest time getting it. New rules are going into effect. They're putting more pressure on the poor, and it's definitely having effect on folks right here in New Mexico. Kim Holland showed us this on special assignment last night, how the new GED test that rolls out in January will be longer, more difficult, require a computer to take the test, and it'll cost more. It's going from just $35 in some cases to $120. Critics say that change will hurt low-income people the most.
To require somebody to be computer skills competent for the first time they take the GED exam is asking a lot. It's not the purpose to measure the GED exam as computer skills. As I said earlier, is to measure reading, writing, arithmetic, science, and social studies.
So right now, a lot of people are scrambling to take the paper and pencil test before the end of this year, but that may be a near impossible task. To find out why, watch Tu Casa tonight at 9 o'clock or check out krqe.com to see Kim Holland's story anytime. Albuquerque police say they have new information about the guy they shot in the Northeast Heights last weekend.
Yeah, they now say he did not have a gun. APD Interim Chief Alan Banks finally talked about the shooting yesterday afternoon. The incident began Sunday afternoon with a 911 call from a woman who said she was afraid of her ex-boyfriend, Shane Sherrill. Officers spotted him a short time later near Wyoming and Indian School. Chief Banks said Sherrill did, however, point either a metal brake pad or a knife at officers, simulating he had a gun. The chief also told us that the suspect said he was not going back to prison. 3 officers shot at Sherrill, who was wounded and remains in the hospital.
All 3 officers perceived a threat that Sherrill was going to begin shooting at them. All 3 officers stated Sherrill pulled a gun from his waistband area and pointed that gun at them.
APD is still investigating, but they say they did found the brake pad and knife at the scene. 4.5 years after he was sent to prison, former state Senate leader Manny Aragon is free. He was once one of the state's most powerful politicians. Aragon pled guilty to conspiracy and mail fraud in a scheme to skim $4.2 million from construction of Albuquerque's Metro Courthouse. His take was allegedly $650,000. Aragon's been serving his sentence at a federal prison in Florence, Colorado. Yesterday, he was released from there to a halfway house.